Gonna wait for a few. See who pops on here. Wanted to talk about a few symptoms that have been pretty extreme for me lately. Just mentioning that things got a little better since my last video. Some of the physical symptoms have calmed down a good 50%, so that's good. But the mental symptoms can be pretty brutal. The DPDR is heavy and the fog is thick, but there's something with this disorientation that happened after COVID. So I know some of it has to do with the after COVID stuff, but you just you can't really gauge what's from what anymore. I'm sleeping, but I get really disoriented. My head feels heavy, and I just feel like I feel drunk, but like in a very fucked up brain type deal. It's hard for me to think, and what happens with that is my brain doesn't catch up with information very fast. So like even watching TV and reading, it's really hard. Reading stuff online, it's like I have to really pay attention. Listening to TV, I'm just not grasping things and I'm not connecting. So my brain is definitely wiring really weird lately. And every time I feel completely disoriented. So I'm never sure what's going on. It's a little different than what I'm used to from benzo stuff. It's definitely connected, but because it feels slightly the same, but it's pretty heavy for something that's going on right now. So hard to say, but been really dizzy, but it's not like a dizziness that's like when I get up I just fall over. It's a just overall wash in my head that's dizzy. But like this disorientation and like the way my brain is, it comes with like it was a little bit better earlier today. The more tired I am, the worse it gets. But it's coming with migraines and it's coming with body pain. So it's like there's something going on where it's just, doesn't want to catch up. So I take it day by day, which is what we all have to do. Which is fine. But some things are better, some things are worse. That is just the name of this game. I've been working kind of a lot, which, doesn't help, but got to do it. I went out on Monday. I went out on Tuesday. I didn't do much on Wednesday, but I did go to the grocery shopping. Today, I had to run to the parking bureau place for Milwaukee, so that was stupid. I really wish I didn't have to do that because I need time off, but I'm always having to do something. So, I do what I can. I do the best I can, and that's really all I can do. I'm tired. I was hoping this evening wouldn't be so weird, but I was hoping it would be a little better. Probably a little better than yesterday, but honestly, not by much. But wanted to tell you guys and gals that I'm okay. I mean, after the last wave is still here, but it's not as harsh as it was. It was easily one of the worst waves I've been through in years, physically especially. Oh, but it's been 2 years since I over tapered Remeron. I know I tapered once after that, but it's been 2 years since. that mess up. And honestly, I never fully recovered from that. It physically took a toll that, honestly, I wish that was like one major mistake, because of that, tapering became much harder. And even though it's been a couple years, it doesn't matter, because stress alone is making things worse, you know, just from work and stuff like that. I mean, I've got a great support system, great girlfriend, and all that, but, life kicked me in my ass for a while. So it just, generated stress. And I get a lot of stress from worry. I get a lot of stress from just being sick. When my head gets like this, it gets scary. That gives me stress. Anxiety gives me stress, and just so on. Um, it's a never-ending cycle, kind of, when you're tapering something that you can barely taper. It's like I'm getting worse in some ways, but it's like if I don't taper off the Remeron, I'm going to continually be in this cycle. It just sucks. But and it's been so long since I tapered that I can't even fathom what it's going to be like. Might not be as bad as I think, and it might be way worse. It's just so hard to tell. But I'm in a position where I have no choice but to pay these bills. So it's like getting to a point where I want to taper. I can't just take all the. I'm already taking a lot of time off, and I'm just squeaking by. And I've got debt now again. It just sucks. So I just go day by day. What's up, Eric? So I'm trying not to look in the future and be a psychic about how things might be. Will it get worse for me? Yeah, it'll get worse when I taper. But like in general, will I get worse? Will it make it that hard to not even be able to taper? I just don't know. All I know, I'm at a point like when my head feels this disoriented and stuff, that means I can't do anything fun. That's for sure. Can't go out, you know, small things, but it gets to be too much. I'm glad the physical symptoms calmed down, but I'm having a feeling they might reappear. I don't know. We'll see. Tomorrow is a day off. I have to go to the doctor, though, so it's always something. We're getting a major snowstorm, so I don't even know if I'm going to get out. That's stressful. There's always something. I just wish I had a day where I didn't have to do anything. And honestly, that's really hard to do, though, because if I do nothing, it's such a long fucking day. It's boring. So, who knows? My neuropathy's a little better. My anxiety is pretty rough today. But, it's been rough in general, but it still could be worse, so give it that. The crawling feeling that's inside my body is calmed down to a point where if I just sit still enough, it's not so bad. So, I do have a overall feeling of energy kind of pushing in through my skin and stuff. It's not horrible like it was the other week, but I genuinely feel excited, like exhausted, like I'm like out of breath, and that's just from my head shit. I can tell. It's hard for me to. I'm able to talk and all. Yesterday was much harder. I was going to do a video yesterday, but I just couldn't. I could, but I try not to stress myself out if I don't have to. So I just do what I can. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be on here for a little bit, 5 more minutes maybe. But my whole story is very long and annoying. But I was pretty much ripped off of benzos 6.5 years ago, and they put me on a bunch of other drugs. I got off the other drugs, but I'm still on Remeron, and Remeron has been absolutely atrocious to taper on a damaged nervous system. Anything was really hard to taper on a damaged nervous system. But it was much harder then, but like now it's like even harder because now that I was starting to feel a little better tapering on it, it just brings me down so much to where I can barely move. My body's just so worn out. I haven't really exercised in years. I walk to a point because of my job, but like when I go out, but it's being more and more far few between that I go out when I need to go out, but it's like I can't. So that's been hard. It's just like I said before, I have a great support system and everything, and I'm not going to ever be fucked right now. There's things I can do and people that will help me. Eric asks, which foods bring you the worst waves and flares? Oh, that's a fun one. Ah, shit, that's a good question. I like that because that one I can easily answer. Um, well, I mean, it is hard for me to actually say because it's been a long time because I don't put myself into that place anymore. But um, if I eat farm raised fish, always. If I do like wild caught like I eat mostly white fish. So if I eat wild caught white fish, fine. I had 2 pieces of wild caught cod for dinner today, and yeah, totally fine. I mean, fine for what I am. But if I get farm raised, forget it. My body just goes crazy. It's always that same feeling. It never fails. Um, I'll go through some pretty weird. What was it that was? If I have too much dairy, I will. But I'll still add like little bits of cheese once in a while. I mean, it's been a long time, so if I add like a little, I mean, it's just not a big deal. If I have too much caffeine, and I'm not talking coffee, like if I eat chocolate at all, that'll put me in a wave. A lot of times it's like if I go to a restaurant, I'm really, it sucks because I'm pretty annoying at restaurants. Only better style restaurants I will ask if it when I'm make sure there's no alcohol in it, and make sure it's no MSG and shit like that. But a lot of times I'll run into issues at restaurants. Like I'll order something and it won't have alcohol in it, but like a lot of times it'll be like some sort of sauce they have, and it's like I'm not asking for every single ingredient, so who knows? Probably MSG. MSG always fucks with me, so I don't really even get anything with MSG. It's like if I can eat regular plain potato chips, but like I won't get anything with flavoring in it because that'll do it. But like a food wave, I haven't had a food wave in probably over like a year and a half, 2 years almost. It's really hard for me to get those because I don't change my diet much. And if I do change it now, it's like really minimal to where I won't notice if it's just my normal fucked up self or not. Like right now my head's so fucked up. But like food waves always like I can feel it in my body. There's just this wave of symptoms that just go through my body. It's totally unique to how I normally feel. So yeah. But like if I decide once in a while I'm feeling up to it, I mean it's like I've never really done this, but like if I do feel like I'm up to it and I eat something new, totally new, I'll know. I'll know if it's something bad. I think back in the day, I think back in the day, because I do gluten free. Not that I have celiac disease or anything, but gluten always messed with me and gave me food waves. So I just stopped. But now, I mean, who knows? I might be able to eat it, but even if I did, it's been so many years. If you ever bring back food, bring it back slow. I take a few bites of bread or something, or like there was one time I ordered chicken from a place, and it was breaded, and I know that's gluten, and I was fine with it. So it all depends. I'm just really, with how fucked up I am, I just need to be able to work and continue my life to a point and try to enjoy my life as much as I can with my girlfriend and all that. So the last thing I need to do is eat fucked up things. But sometimes I get cocky when I feel better, because every time I feel better, I think the world's it's so much nicer and better, and I forget how fucked up I was a week earlier, and then I might do something stupid. I said to my girlfriend, said the day I go through the drive-through at Burger King and order a Whopper, I'm doing a lot better. Because for some reason I've had a craving for a Whopper for the past 4 or 5 years. I don't know why that, but that's what I want. But there's no way I'll eat that anytime soon. It is crazy. It's extremely crazy. It makes no sense. But then again, it kind of makes sense because the nervous system, like all food, you know, has a balance with the nervous system. So it kind of makes sense. Especially with MSG, it can be very excitatory. So it makes sense. And I'm also tapering Remeron, and Remeron is very fucked with my histamine channels and receptors pretty bad. So like I have to be careful with histamine foods and stuff. And yeah. So sometimes histamine causes problems for people coming off medications. And I don't know why exactly, but it does. And hence why my allergies are so bad in the spring and summer, and they make my symptoms worse. But I still get out anyway. Sometimes if I'm out too much in like a bad area with allergies or whatever, I wear a mask. But honestly, how good is that gonna be? If I was out mowing a lawn or something, which I don't have, but if I did, I'd probably wear a mask, which would be annoying, but it would at least help a little bit, especially the thicker air pollutants. But I try to. My big thing lately is to not think of the future so much. It scares me, to be honest. Because I'm always circling in my head how long I have to taper the drugs for. Which, in reality, if I didn't have a fucked up nervous system, I'd be off. I would just like stop taking that med, or I would taper like in a couple months. But it's gonna take me years just because of how fucking sensitive I am and so fucked up. And it's not the withdrawal that scares me so much. It's the effect, the terrible effect it'll have on my nervous system. I mean, when I over tapered and I just doubled my taper, and I fucked that up. That was 2 years ago, and I never fully recovered from that. I would in time. And plus, since my life has been kind of stressful, you take care too, Eric. I can't afford to fuck it up again. Even if I didn't have to work, I'm not going to just stop taking this stuff because it'll destroy me and bring on so much depression, which it did. So it's like, um, the symptoms were so scary, physically and mentally, that I never want to go through that again. Not like that. It may be bad now, but I can't be like that because I could have easily ended my life. There's been so many times I could have easily ended my life in this. And the fact I haven't, I want, I don't want the time I've tried to heal and do as good as I can for myself be a waste. You know, I don't want it to be a waste of time. I've spent 6.5 years of doing this and suffering, and the PTSD of it's brutal, and just everything about it is just brutal. Um, it's torture, and I just don't need. I just it's one thing if it's torture, but I also don't want it to be a point where like there's no turning back. You know, because I've kind of been there a couple times, and honestly, that scares me. The point of no return in this has happened a few times where I thought there was no returning to what. And honestly, realistically, a lot of those times I never really did return to where I was. It got better, but I never fully got to the point where I wanted it to be. Some things get worse and they like stay worse. And that scares me alone. But I try not to just look into the future and just be scared of it. I would take it one day at a time, and hell, I could get cancer next month and just die from that. I just don't know. So I'm gonna try to do what I can while I can, and try to enjoy my life while I can, even if I'm in this situation. I mean, my private life is my private life, but it's also really good right now, and I wish I was healthier to, you know, be there more, and do all the things I want to do. But I have to stop thinking like that. It's too hard. Anyway, I think I'm gonna head off here. Um, the last wave I have is still here, but it was one of the hardest waves I've ever been. And I said if it does start to get better, then I know anything could get better, and I still stand by that because the latest wave was really, really brutal. Luckily, the depression didn't really take over for that one, thank goodness. But physically and mentally, physically, it was, oh my God, never felt like that. It's still there to a point, but way more tolerable. So it goes up and down. I don't know why. And like the way my head is, the disorientation, I know a lot of it. I never really felt like this before COVID. So I think COVID did something to my brain. So, like, when I get overloaded, now it's like this shit. So that changes my outcome of what I can do now. Again, I never know what I can and can't do. It sucks. But anyway, I'm off. I'll leave you with a positive. Again, day by day. Day by day. You don't know the future. Just because it seems really grim doesn't mean it's going to be. Just because I've been dealing with this for a long time or somebody else has doesn't mean it's going to for you. Everybody's totally different in this. So I've seen so many different people and so many different responses to what they do, and everybody can eat different shit. It's very unique to everybody. So don't think you are the outcome of somebody else. Just do the best you absolutely can, and you know distract, and everybody we'll all get through this one way or another. Hey Cindy, I'm just about to sign off. It's nice to see people pop on, but yeah, just take it day by day. There's no sense to look into the future, and I mean, this is something I've done for years, but There's no sense to look into the future and make a grim outcome. It's kind of like affirmations. That's why affirmations are good. It's telling yourself positive things. Your brain tries to rewire for that, because of that. If you're constantly telling yourself negative stuff, your brain wires to that. So tell yourself every day it'll get better. Say, I don't know when, but it will. And odds are it's gonna. I've seen thousands and thousands of people just get better and move forward. It's not abnormal. If it was the if I'm the minority of things that last a long time, and I can't exactly say why my nervous system took such a huge shit because of all this, and it's staying like that. I mean, just because I'm on Remeron, I'm assuming that's why. But it's like I would have hoped that it would have gotten better within the time frame. But some things have gotten better and some things have gotten worse. I'm able to do things now that I couldn't do before, and I'm also can't do things now that I could do before. Now, that's a mind fuck. So I need these things to kind of come together and match up. So anyway, I'm going to sign off, and I really appreciate everybody. Oh, I actually just talked to Lucinda. Yeah, she's doing better. Hold on, I'm trying to see the comment here. Yeah, it's very true. We're all, as Lucinda says, it's not linear. Everybody is different. We all heal different because we're all different. And that's about exactly the way it is. And I tried for the longest time looking at everybody else going, maybe I will get better earlier. And then it was like longer. And then I'd look at other people and, that are 10 years out. And I'd be like, oh, I'm going to be that guy. Yeah, I might be. Probably will be. Because I know it'll take me years to get off the Remeron. But, at this point, I don't care anymore. I'm surviving. I'm doing things in my life that make me happy. But it's really hard. Really hard. And I'm hoping one day things will be easier so I could take like vacations and stuff like that and whatever. There's sometimes that I'll actually feel like I could, but that feeling goes away pretty fast. And that's one thing that bothers me is like one day I'll be like, yeah, I totally want to do that. And then the next day I'm so fucked. It's like I'm so unpredictable. That's awful. I hate that about me. I wish it wasn't like that because it's unpredictable for everybody around me. It's disappointing. Okay, now I'm signing off. So, you all take care, and I'll try to pop on probably tomorrow. And then I've got some stuff to do during the week, and I'm hoping the disorientation stuff starts to calm down again. It was calming down for a little bit, then it got worse again. Probably just from going out for work. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Trying not to listen to unsolicited advice is one of the best pieces of advice. It was because of unsolicited advice I ended up doing a lot of the things that damaged me in the first place. Actually, it was the reason why, because I paid attention to other people's ideas, you know, especially with Remeron. I wouldn't be on Remeron if I didn't listen to somebody saying how easy it was to get off that and how much great it was for sleep. Yeah, it made me a fucking zombie. And it was one of the worst things I ever did. And it pretty much keeps fucking up my brain because I can't get off of it. And it's going to be a slow process considering how I feel now. I don't know how I'm going to taper, and it's been a couple of years. I have to start again, but I just don't know how. I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't know how. But yeah, I go by what my body tells me. And right now my body says no, Dan, it's not time. Even though you're needing to get off this stuff now, my body is saying, "Hey, you still have to work and survive and pay your bills." There will be a time where you'll start feeling a little bit better enough to at least taper, and it might be hell, but at least it will be a little more tolerable. So I'm just gonna hold off. You know, sometimes I have to hold off for just doing things I enjoy. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm not gonna sit and think 5 years from now, what's gonna happen? Where am I gonna be? Will I be dead? Yeah, I just don't know. So okay, I keep saying I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna go do a few things before I end up heading off to bed. So you have a great night.